y'all, I'm Sarah, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 movies that defined my childhood. Now, I'm sure that everybody has these. They're movies that you watched a lot as a kid, or movies that really had a big impact on you. And this is going to be for me up until I was 13, so we're not going to include my teen years, just when I was a kid. So the first movie that had a lot of impact on me and I loved was The Little Mermaid. I have it here on DVD. It came out when I was just 2 years old and I loved it. You know how toddlers have those movies that they want to watch every day? Well, that was me and The Little Mermaid. I watched it every day for like a year. I'm sure my parents and my grandma and grandpa that I lived with at the time got so sick of it. But I loved that movie so much. And I don't know if it was because of the music or because, you know, it takes place in the ocean, but it was probably just because it was a movie that came around that time when I was just getting into movies, when I was so little. Looking back, you know, I can recognize that this was the beginning of the new Disney Renaissance. And this was the beginning of having like a Broadway-style music numbers in Disney movies. And of course it had Howard Ashman that directed it and he helped with the music, I know that for sure. Also, it's really interesting to look back and see, you know, things that you thought was really important as a kid. Like, you know, Ariel really loved Eric, I thought as a kid. You know, she loved him. And as an adult, you look back and you think to yourself, wait a minute, she's 16 years old. And she says, but Daddy, I love him.
About.
You don't even know him.
Know him? I don't have to know him. They're all the same. Spineless, savage, harpooning fish eaters. Incapable of any feeling.
Daddy, I love
him! And you're like, whoa, you only know the guy, you only seen the guy like twice, you know? But still, that doesn't, like, you know, it doesn't matter. I still love the movie. I still watch it all the time. And it's a great movie. Number 2, Homeward Bound. Now, this movie was a movie I loved as a kid. I was really into dogs as a kid, and I wanted one so bad throughout my entire childhood. I finally ended up getting one when I was in 5th or 6th grade, and I loved Patches. It's my favorite dog ever. But I didn't realize how much of an influence this movie had on me. Like, to this day, my favorite kind of dog is a golden retriever. And for the longest time, I was thinking, what would I want to name my kid? And Peter kept coming to my mind. And I was like, what is that from? Like, why am I thinking of Peter? Homeward Bound probably might be it. But this movie has the animals. They go to a farm and they escape into the wilderness. They're trying to find their family. And there's so much action in there. Like, you don't realize until you rewatch it as an adult. Like, how do they get the animals to do all this stuff? You know, jump into the river and you know, interact with the mountain lion and go on all this, like, these epic journey type things. Like, it's amazing. Also, you know, the voice work of Sally Field and Michael J. Fox as an adult, I really like, you know, listening to that because now I know who they are. You know, when I watched this movie, that was probably the first time I had ever heard their voices or heard them act. So it's really interesting watching that as well. And I remember in this movie was one of the first times I cried in a movie. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about.
Home. Come on!
Shadow! Come on, you can do it. You got us this far. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Great, keep coming.
Come on, if you can jump in a river to save me, this should be easy.
Yeah, that's...
Peter.
Shadow!
Oh, Peter. I worried about you so.
Shadow!
Peter, you're okay.
Shadow!
Peter, no.
whenever Shadow gets stuck in that ditch and he's like trying to climb out of the mud and his paws are so muddy and everything, and then later on whenever he like comes back and nobody expects him but he comes back. I remember I watched this in theaters with my mom and I was crying, and I asked my mom at the end when Shadow comes back, I was like, Mom, why am I crying? Because it was happy, you know. I was one of the first times I remember crying for something that's happy. And I'll never forget that. But this definitely was a special movie to me. And as you can see, the VHS is kind of wearing out because I watched this a lot as a kid. I definitely did watch this a lot. Number 3, Aladdin. This was another movie I loved as a kid. I don't remember if I saw this in theaters or not. I'll have to ask my mom and dad. But this is one that I really, really liked. I just remember, you know, it being a whole new world, as it were, and because I had never seen anything like, you know, ancient Persia or Arab or nothing like that, and it was really interesting, the different types of clothes and different, you know, like food and the different atmosphere that it had. Now, I really love all the comedy in this movie. You know, there's Robin Williams, and he is fantastic as the genie. I thought he was so funny.
Thank you for choosing Magic Carpet for all your travel needs. Don't stand until the rug has come to a complete stop. Thank you. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
That's a good move. I can't believe it. I'm losing to a rug.
Wanna court the little lady, you gotta be a straight shooter. Do you got it?
What?
Tell her the
truth! No way! If Jasmine found out I was really some crummy street rat, she'd laugh at me.
A woman appreciates a man who can make her laugh.
And even though I didn't get all the jokes growing up, because, you know, a lot of them are like made for adults, not like adult, but like, you know, references that you wouldn't know as a kid, but I still loved it. And I remember thinking Aladdin was so cool. Like, I liked the way he dressed, and I liked his attitude and everything, and I really could, you know, relate to him a lot. And Jasmine was so pretty, and I loved her outfits and everything like that, but I really loved the music in this as well. You know, A Whole New World, and the one that the genie sings is a good song too. And it really did have a good message about not only you may not want what you wish for if you end up getting it, and you want to be yourself, because Aladdin, you know, he was originally like a thief and like a street person, but he wanted to be a prince to impress Jasmine. And it ended up being, you know, whenever he was faking it, he didn't do that well. So that was definitely a good message for me as a kid. You know, this movie is just classic. There's so many good scenes in it. There's so many good characters. Jafar is a great villain, and I love the parrot. But yeah, this movie was just a great movie. I definitely watched it a lot as a kid. And we also had this sing-along thing that we watched that I think made me like it even more, because I knew a lot of the words to the songs. So we would watch this as well, and just, you know, sing along with the story, and just get a good kick out of it. Number 4, Sandlot. Now, this was a movie, came out in 1993. I didn't see it till it came on VHS years later. Me and my brother used to watch it at my grandma and grandpa's house a lot. Whenever, you know, the adults would want to talk, and we were bored, so we wanted to do something, and we would go watch a movie in my grandpa's room, and we watched this all the time. It's a great movie because it really shows, you know, a person's childhood in the movie. It's narrated by a guy looking back at his childhood, and it takes place in the 1960s and everything. And we're a big baseball family because we love the St. Louis Cardinals, being a St. Louisan, and we, you know, love baseball. So, you know, this movie being about baseball really, like, was really cool to me and my brother. I really liked the character Smalls, and I liked all the characters actually. They each have their own little quirk, you know. There's some classic one-liners from this movie that me and my brother used to quote all the time growing up.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Forever. Forever. Forever.
Forever. Classic. The movie is just a lot of fun. Like, it's about kids having fun, getting into trouble, and like, you know, the summer, just chilling with their friends. And I liked all the adventures that they got into and everything. It was just a lot of fun. You know, looking back as an adult, I can really appreciate the script and how it's written, and you know, some of the shots that they chose to make, and the cinematography and everything. But overall, it's just a great film. It really reminds me of whenever I was a kid and we used to have pick-up baseball games in the common ground behind my house. And we would just get kids from the neighborhood and play some baseball, you know. It was never anything serious. And I remember we had this Mark McGuire like bat that was really fat and everything, and it would hit the ball really far, and you know, we had a lot of fun as kids doing that. But yeah, this movie is a classic. Number 5, Little Princess. And I don't actually own this one, but it's a movie that really had a big impact on me growing up. And I don't know if it's because my name is Sarah and the girl's name is also Sarah, or because it's such an emotional story. But you know, it takes place with this girl who lived in India, and she goes to America because her dad's gonna fight in the war. And she's a really nice girl, and she has a big imagination, and you know, she tells the girls stories about India and how they're all all are princesses at heart, which is so cute. And then she finds out that her dad dies at her own birthday party. And I just remember like the balloon like popping, and she finds out. It's so dramatic, you know. And then the headmaster, who is initially nice to her because she has money, but then when she finds out that her dad dies, she treats her like total crap, and you know, puts her up in the attic, and with the servant girl Becky, which she was actually really nice to. But it's interesting because she kind of uses her imagination as a survival technique, and just, you know, she has such a positive attitude. It's just really cool. I will never forget like the climax of the film, whenever, you know, they're so hungry and they pretend that they have this big feast in front of them, and then they wake up and it's all real, and they all like eat it, and of course it's the guy across the street that gave it to them, but it's still so cool. And then the headmaster comes in and she finds it, and she thinks that they stole it all, and she calls the police and everything. It's so dramatic. Like, it starts to rain, and she starts to go, she goes over this plank that connects to the house next door, and it's raining, and like she's about to fall and everything. And then
Come back for you. I promise.
And then she goes in there and hides, and there's a man there, and she doesn't know it, but it's her dad. Oh my gosh. Like, it's so dramatic and so cute. And there's that song, you know, Kindle My Heart. It's so cute. So that movie really had a big impact on me, and it really taught me, you know, some life lessons about, you know, using imagination to survive and keeping a positive attitude no matter what's going on. So that movie is really great. I really should buy that. Yeah, so that is that movie. Okay, that was my top 10 movies that defined my childhood. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to be making more videos like this, as well as maybe some more food videos, maybe some more videos. So if there's any videos that you think would be cool to see, let me know in the comments below. Alright, bye-bye for now.